This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And welcome to Burrito Miko, where we're here for the Elgin Owls Football Coaches Show. Got a big win over Newcastle this week, 42-24, in our biggest test to date. That makes us 3-0 on the season, 17 wins in a row, and hoping for number 18 this week as we get back to the nest against Woodward this week as well. We got a great show on tap for you tonight. We've got the head owl himself, Coach Chalmer Wyatt, here with us. Also have two senior offensive linemen, C.J. Devine and Zayden Roberts, that we'll catch up with as well. We'll talk a little bit about the Newcastle game. We'll talk about the upcoming game against Woodward as well. We'll talk players of the game and all that fun stuff. I'm your host, Vincent Saylor, on the computer, and running the producing tonight is Billy Palmer. And like I said, got a great show on tap for you tonight. We'll have Coach Chalmer Wyatt here in a little bit. But for now, we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. You're watching the Elgin Owl Football Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
They say the best way to be a good neighbor is to know your neighbors and give a little help when they need it. And when you need a little, you can find help at Ace Hardware in Elgin. Not only do they offer everything from grills to flowers, paint, hardware, and tools, they offer experience to help guide you through the process. And they're happy to take the time to make sure you can do it right. Ace Hardware of Elgin. They're more than just a hardware store. They're your neighbors. Ace Hardware, 7796 Highway 277 in Elgin.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko. Thanks for joining us. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. we're here at Burrito Miko during game weeks to have the Elgin Owls Football Coaches Show. Like I said, during those coaches shows, we'll recap the game before and then talk of the upcoming game as well. Like I said, big victory over Newcastle on Friday night up at Newcastle, 42-24. It was a great test, and it was great to see the kids kind of handle some adversity. Kind of first time we kind of got punched in the mouth a little. Held in there with us in the first half and then was able to pull away in the second half. I want to give a huge shout out to the team, like I said, for doing such a good job of fighting that adversity and getting through it. Like I said, moves on to 3-0 on the season. Looking for a big, like I said, handled non-district play pretty well with the 3-0 record. Now we're moving on into district play where obviously everything matters, and this is where playoff seeding comes into play and things like that. Got a big one this week at the Nest against Woodward. Happy to be back at home. It's been about a month since we've played at the Nest, so we're happy to be back home and have everybody out there to support the Elgin faithful. But, hey, the Elgin did a great job of coming to Newcastle and really supporting the guys on Friday night. It meant a ton to the guys. It meant a ton to the outcome of the game as well. Like I said, 42-24, offensive game. Did a great job doing everything that they did on their side of the ball. Did a great job. Coach offensive coordinator Adam Castro did a great job of mixing up run and pass. We'll talk a little bit about the stats here in a second. And the defensive coordinator Jack Baker and the defense did a great job kind of making some adjustments there late in the second quarter and into the second half that really stymied their offense. Our offense was really moving, had some great playmakers, T.J. Bradford, another running back. Caden Longman also, he said, did a great job on their playmakers there towards the end of the second quarter and into the second half and was able to pull away there at the end. Got your players of the game for that game. Offensive player of the game was Caden Belletto. Caden had his best game as an Owl so far, 21 for 23 for 249 yards and 2 touchdowns, and really played a great game. Also did, like I said, fumbled there at one point during the game, but did a good job of coming back, fighting against that adversity, and then playing well throughout the rest of the game. That was your offensive player of the game. Your defensive player of the game was Tucker New Henson. Tucker had a great game stepping in there, like I said, and did a great job from the defensive end spot, played with a lot of tenacity, and was in the backfield all night, made some tackles for loss, some sacks, and did a great job on the defensive side of the ball. Your special teams player of the game, kicker Ian Krenz, like I said, did a great job on all his kickoffs, made all his extra points, and then even had a tackle at some point, which is good to see him kind of getting into the football mix there. Then your sharpen your axe player of the game was Ritson Meyer, just an all-around great performance. Listen to these stats, folks. 178 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, 2 catches for 19 yards, and a game kind of sealing interception there at some point as well. So doing it on both sides of the ball as he's done his whole entire career. So really, like I said, Ritson now has 12 touchdowns on the season, 11 rushing touchdowns, 1 punt return touchdown, has 403 yards rushing on the year, and has 4 catches for 83 yards as well. So just an all-around great athlete, all-around great player. Really, really excited to watching him play the next couple weeks, the next couple years. And then your Rough Rider of the week was Cameron Hollifer. Last week we had him on, and his favorite subject was lunch, so that's always a good deal for the Rough Riders. But it was good to see him step in and play a great game from his right tackle spot. That's your players of the game. Some other interesting notes about the game. Like I said, we talked about Ritson's stats. We talked about Caden's stats. Tiny had 51 yards rushing and also 21 yards receiving. Brody had 10 catches. Brody Morrison had 10 catches for 115 yards and a TD there. Tucker New Henson had his first touchdown from the tight end position as well, and a nice 27-yard touchdown pass to get the scoring underway for the Owls. Keegan Hillary stepped in after an injury, stepped in and played a great game, also had a huge interception, and then also had a couple kick returns for some several yards there. So, like I said, only a sophomore and doing great things there. Way to step in. Like I said, not sure if he was going to play that much, but then had a little bit of an injury, and then he was able to step in and play a really great game with a huge interception there late in the first half. Kaysen also had 4 catches for 42 yards and did a great job calling the defense on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, just an all-around great performance. Like I said, love to see the way that they fought against adversity and fought back after kind of, like I said, it's kind of a back-and-forth game there, first couple drives. Then we obviously was able to get the big 4th down turnover by Bryce Martin on the knockdown of the pass. And then Keegan with the big interception there, and then kind of ran away with it a little from there. But it was good. Like I said, probably one of the best teams we will play throughout the regular season. So it was good to see kind of how we handled some adversity, how we handled once we got down. Well, we never really got down, but once they kind of kept going back and getting tied and things like that. So it was a great game to kind of see where we were, test us, and to understand where we are as a team heading into district play. So super happy about the way non-district went. Finished out, like I said, 3-0, heading into this big, huge matchup against Woodward, back at the nest where we're always excited to be. So happy about that and ready to get back and hear the Elgin faithful get loud and proud as only they can do. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side of the break with head coach Chalmer Wyatt. We'll talk a little bit, like I said, about that Newcastle win and what he saw from the sidelines and what he saw through the film, and then we'll also preview that Woodward game. Again, want to thank Burrito Miko for everything that they do, not only just for our show but for the whole entire football program. Miguel and his guys do a great job of being huge supporters, and we're proud to be doing our coaches show this year from here out in Elgin. So you're watching the Elgin Owls Football Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Aero Sign Company is now Fusion Sign and Design, continuing to serve all of Oklahoma and surrounding states for the past 70 years. Their focus has always been driving people to your door, not just selling you a sign. From custom work and installation to excellent service, they have the knowledge and expertise to help you along the way and making your image stand out and last for years to come. The all-new Fusion Sign and Design. Phone 353-2227.
And we're back here from Burrito Miko with head coach Chalmer Wyatt. Coach Wyatt, thanks for joining us tonight. Obviously, we want to thank again Burrito Miko for hosting this, and Miguel and all the things that they do as supporters of the program. Before we get into the game, talk a little bit about how much those supporters mean and how much these guys. I know, like I said, I think that we didn't have school on Friday. I think Miguel and those guys fed the team some breakfast maybe prior to the road trip and things like that. Talk about how much that means to the team and how that kind of alleviates some of the pressure from you guys of kind of having to worry about any of that stuff.
Oh, within the community, there's just so many helping hands that will reach out, if we, ask for breakfast, on an off day like that, or just whatever the case may be. 3-4 businesses in town. Miguel is a big-time supporter, and I'm glad he's letting us do the coaches show here.
Yeah.
Really makes my life easier. I don't have to go travel. But, no, it's anything we need. I mean, there's Chris Hayes right here at Pizza Corral. Every time I see him, he goes, hey, what do you guys need?
Yeah.
It's just great support,
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the Newcastle game. I mean, just kind of initial thoughts. I mean, a hard-fought game. I mean, we knew going in this was going to be one of the better teams on our schedule. They were fully healthy this year. Last year they had some people out, so kind of ran away with it a little bit last year. But this year they were fully healthy and ready to go. And like I said, kind of hard-fought win, but at the end of the day it was a win. And what'd you your first impressions and what you thought of the game?
Yeah, going into it, it was everything you said. I really thought that Newcastle was really talented. I thought that they do some really good things on offense. They've got some talented playmakers. They can throw it out wide, and they've got, 2 good backs that are going to give, trouble to any opponent that they play. Big up front, and so just going in, that's really what we were prepared for. Tough game, and that's what it ended up being. We had to really scratch and claw and kind of take control, and it took a while.
Yeah.
And for my takeaways, I was just really proud of the way our kids kind of dug in and fought. And we learned a lot about ourselves that night. And, that's kind of what non-district's about is, you want that big test. And we got it and got out healthy and all those things. And so I'm glad we're on the other side of it with the win.
Yeah, I mean, talk a little bit, like I said, of the fight that you saw in those kids and whatnot. Like I said, last year a lot of people, that was kind of one of our downfalls potentially leading into that Wagner game was, hey, y'all have never been tested. How is this team going to be? But it was good to kind of get a test early in the season so that way you can kind of see the makeup of this team. Because like I said, you got a lot of new kids that are playing that haven't played a ton of football for us. So talk a little bit about, how impressed you were with that and any of the kids that stood out for you in the game.
Yeah, that's exactly the questions we had. Guys stepped up and guys that played new roles or emerged in new roles or hadn't played before. They kind of got with the program with how we play the game on Fridays. We talk about the standard being the standard. We had guys that rose up and matched that, and a lot of our two-way guys that we rely on a lot, stepped up. And that's definitely what you have to have. Just speaking on that note, I talked to Braxton, about middle of the second quarter, and I said, hey, this is one of those nights where you're going to have to go, he turned it on at that point. Ritson the same way, and, Phillip same way defensively, and just to name a few guys that kind of had the right look in their eye for, to be leaders and big-time players for us, and that's what we had to have. And a lot of guys, fell in line. I thought the offensive line controlled the line of scrimmage for the most of the night, and that was big, and that's going to be big for us. So it was good to see that against the big defensive line of Newcastle. So, we got tested in a lot of different areas and, came out on the right side and have a ton to work on, this week and moving forward.
Yeah, talk a little bit about the defense. Obviously, like I said, kind of back and forth there in the first quarter, 14-14, whatnot, and then we jump out to a 21-14 lead. And then late in the second quarter, looked like some things changed, and then obviously into the second half, a lot of things changed. Talk about those adjustments that the defense made, some of those big plays. Like I said, one that I can think of off the top of my head is Bryce Martin with the fourth down breakup, Keegan Hillary with the interception. Talk about kind of those adjustments that the defense made and how we were able to kind of corral them late in the second quarter into the second half.
Man, it was just a matter of us, digging our heels in. Once we kind of dug our heels in and got back to doing what we do to an extent, you could see that, we were successful in the second half, and I think that we got settled in. We made some minor tweaks with what we were doing, but ultimately it was just like digging in and playing hard, chasing the football, pursuing the football, getting guys around it. And I think that I don't know what they had in the first half, but we limited them about 94 yards in the second half.
Wow.
Something like that. So and maybe that's a testament to wearing them down, and being tough. which is what we pride ourselves about. And it just kind of worked out that we had the grit to get to that point, and we had the grit to finish it and kind of control the game defensively in the second half.
Let's talk about players of the game. Obviously, Caden Boletto. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about him, not only just being the offensive player of the game, but 21 for 23, 249 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, his best game so far.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing about it is that I liked about it moving in, he handled the adversity of that fumble and came back in and played the rest of the game completely well. And then, like I said, those passes weren't just swing passes and things like that. I mean, we were throwing deep 15-yard dig routes, deep 15-yard curl routes. And for a high school kid, you don't see that often, so it's good to see that. Talk a little bit about his progression, obviously only his third start, but his progression of where he is and how impressed you are with him Friday night.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the fumble because I was going to start off with that.
Well, he knows I was going to, too.
Good.
Tomorrow at practice, he knows that'll be the first thing I talk
absolutely.
to him about.
Absolutely. It's just one of those things, it was his third start, third start, and he realizes, because I talked to him a lot about it, but there's a million things that he's got to get better at. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where we want to keep him is, humble and hardworking and wanting to get better every day. But that was a really good game out of him. I think he was 10 of 10 in the second half.
Yeah.
First half, big-time conversion on fourth down to Kaysen. Kind of had to evade left and set his feet again and threw a good ball to move the chains. And I just thought he had a good night. He stayed within the game plan. Took what they gave us and ran the offense well. There's things that we talked about tweaking and getting better with clock management and things, but really proud of him, and he's having a lot of fun. And, he's a kid that loves the game, and it's really cool to see him, flourish like that.
Defensive player of the game, Tucker New-Henson.
Man, Tucker can do anything he wants on the football field when he's in the right mindset and gap sound and doing the right things. I mean, he caught a touchdown on offense as well. But he's a guy that when he's doing the right things, he's long, he's strong, he can get down the hill line, he can almost play 2 gaps at a time, and he's disruptive. He plays hard, and when you play hard and you're doing things right, good things are going to happen. And good to see him because we're hard on Tucker. Every coach is hard on Tucker, and part of that is on him, and part of that is because we think he can be really good. And same deal, he's got to keep working hard. I'm glad that he got defensive player of the game, but I hope that's not the best thing he does for us this year.
Yeah. So as we're on defensive player of the game, things like that, let's talk a little bit about the defense. This year, like I said, obviously we're playing a lot more players than we did last year. Last year, probably about 15 or so. This year, we're kind of up to about 22, 23. It seems like that we're kind of rotating in and out. I know, obviously, a lot of that has to do with the next man up mentality, kind of like Keegan did there, stepping in for Corday there in that game. Talk a little bit about how having that many players now kind of helps the defense and then also helps the offense out because so many players play both ways.
I think it's really healthy for our defense. I think it's healthy at practice when guys are rotating in and out, and nobody's comfortable to a point. And I think that breeds good competition, and it shows that we have some depth. It shows that as we go through the season, we hope that we have more guys we can rely on, and it keeps guys fresh as well, like your point. But I liked our defensive line rotation Friday. I thought it. We got the guys in there at the right spots, whether it was a pass rush situation or, we had a couple of first downs when we need to get some of the guys out and get them fresh, and it just helps. Defensive line, there's a lot of guys that are playing there, and I think that they all bring something different to the table, which is really good schematically, and we can tweak things. Same thing in the secondary. Keegan stepped in and played well at corner, and we've got other guys and other lineups that we can run out there, and it gives us, just makes us more than one-dimensional with who we run out there and what we can do.
Well, on the defensive line side of the ball, I mean, like you said, the hardest thing, I guess, for a team that's going to scout you or prepare for you is, like you said, all those defensive linemen are so much different.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you go from defensive end, you go from Tucker to Caleb to Hudson. I mean, that's 3 different players that a tackle has to kind of prepare for, and you don't never know which one's in. So, I mean, it makes it tough on that play caller as well.
Yep.
Talk to special teams player of the game, Ian Crims.
Yeah. We designed our kickoff a little bit different this week. We thought that they've returned, 4 kickoffs for touchdowns on the films we've seen, and one got called back. But So we wanted to sky to the sideline and get down there and make a fair catch. And I thought we covered pretty well for the most part. One kind of squirted on us, but and then nailing all the extra points. That's big time. And I think he even had a tackle and a flop.
He did. He did. He had the soccer flop in there.
Yeah, he can save the soccer flop for soccer season. As far as that's what I told him. But yeah, he's fun to be around and. Been a big weapon for us, and we're excited for him down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Rough Rider of the Week, Cameron Hollifer.
Cam played extremely well. I think he graded in the 90s.
Wow, okay.
And he's strong, athletic, and he got some starts last year. Got some experience under his belt, and I think now he's kind of utilizing what he has and his tools. He understands. Our rules on the offensive line. And when you can do that really well, like it can take care of itself. He's big, strong, athletic, can get to the edge, set the edge, and just does a lot of things for us. Never really high, never really low, just kind of locked in. And in a big game like that, it was good to see somebody grade. I think it was 90.
Wow.
And so that's big time.
And then Sharpen Your Axe, Ritson Meyer.
Yeah. Big time player, big time game.
Yeah.
Like, what you're going to get out of him. And that's one he's had circled for a long time.
Well, I know he plays baseball with some of those
kids.
Yeah,
I think there's some
things like that.
Yep. So what do you have? 26 for 170.
178 rushing.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns there. 2 catches for 19, and then the interception.
Interception,
as well.
and I'm counting a forced fumble there.
Yeah.
I think I've counted 2 for him. But bigger the stage, better he is. And obviously he poses a big problem for defenses when we're blocking well. He's just he's just an extra blocker or extra defender that you have to account for trying to tackle him. So proud of him and proud of his growth. He's really coming into his senior year.
Yeah.
And I never thought, he's just been a slow brew, and it's fun to be around him right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Talk a little bit about how you're going to, like I said, obviously he's such an important part on both offense and defense. Talk about a little bit like how you're going to maintain kind of his freshness through the game and things like that. Obviously he's got to take advantage of those special teams opportunities when he's out of the game and things like that. Talk about how you're going to kind of, like I said, maintain him throughout the year and things like that. One,
it comes with the depth that we trust, behind him. Obviously running back Braxton does a great job coming in.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's poisoning himself to be a guy that can play the whole game.
Yeah.
I think that he's special. I think he's has the shape, the athleticism, just the maturity to do that as we get going. And that's what we're going to demand out of him in big time games.
Yeah.
And then if not, he needs a blow, then we'll give him a blow and he'll get back in there. And that's just kind of who he is. And in a big game, he wants to be on the field no matter how tired he is. And so as we get into good district shape and all those things coming along, I'd like to see that, and I think he's ready for all those challenges and expectations from us as well. But he's doing a great job so far.
And be remiss, obviously, without talking about Brody as well. Brody had 10 catches for 115 yards and a touchdown. I know Caden got the offensive player of the game, but, Brody also, like I said, with 10 catches, 115 yards, touchdown. And then one thing that I was super impressed with, too, had some young guys back there in the secondary with them, and watching him coach those guys up and being a coach on the field for your starter at that safety spot. He's seen everything and been through everything. So it's good to see him, like I said, talking to John Lohman, talking to Keegan Hillary there during the game, and kind of being a coach on the field. Because, like I said, there were some times where y'all were on the far side, and he's over there on our side talking to Keegan, and y'all are far away from him, so he's out there coaching him and things like that. Talk about what he means, like I said, not only on the offensive side of the ball, obviously with 10 catches, but just as a team as a whole.
Yeah, he's so much growth with him as well. Him and Ritson have been playing forever, I feel like.
Right.
And we have a toolbox defensively in the back end with kind of some things we want to do, and he has the option to make the call with his corner, some things he likes. And I actually had a funny story. You mentioned that. I talked to him at practice today, and we had some young guys out on the field defensively, and just talking about how in tune you have to be as a young player. And I talked to Brody. I said, as a freshman, you couldn't make those checks, right? Like, how much growth have you had now? And he's like, that's one way to put it. But offense, defense, special teams, he does a ton for us, and it's he's so dynamic in what he does, and he's another guy that he's going to have to go a lot,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And same way with his shape. And it's hard, you know, to go receiver and DB when you just ran 2 post routes and, you know, now we got to go flip it over. And it's just he's the guy that we can put that on, you know. And, you know, great game all around. I thought that he played tremendously offensively and kind of ran the show defensively. So great job by him, and, you know, that's what we're going to put on him moving forward.
So before we go to break, final thoughts just on the Newcastle game. Like I said, final thoughts on that one.
Yeah, found out that our team will fight when it's hard, and that's a quality of a champion, and that's what we wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see. Honestly, I went into the game not knowing, you know, not fully understanding where we're at when things got tough. You know, you can't simulate any of those things, and you can preach on it through summer pride and fall camp and hope that you got your team where you need to be. But it was good to see those things, just to persevere and get through them when it was tough and when it was time to go and all the things. And so I was proud of these guys, and, you know, I believe that they're game for everything that they say they're game for.
Sounds great. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back on the other side of the break talking about the Woodward matchup and kind of recapping a little bit of the non-district schedule as well. So you're watching the Elgin Owl Football Coach on the Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Are you looking for more than just a job? Barres Foods in Lawton offers a career with a competitive starting wage, opportunity for advancement, life and health insurance, including medical, dental, and vision, as well as 401k retirement plan. At Barres, you can be proud of a company that gives back to the community. But most of all, you can take pride from making a quality product. Barres Foods, making the best tasting hot dogs and smoked sausages, the food America likes to eat. So come be a part of a winning team and start your path to success today.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko with head coach Chalmer Wyatt. Coach, 3-0 obviously through the non-district schedule. Just kind of recap the non-district schedule. What it, like I said, what you learned from your team and kind of what we know going into this district schedule.
Yeah, I mean, week 0 is hard to get ready for week 0. You know, a good opponent in MacArthur with a lot of new pieces that we're playing. That one was tough to get going for, but I thought that we played well for a week 0 because you're not going to play well week 0. And I thought we did a good job there. You know, go down to Dallas. The good thing about Dallas is it's a road trip. You've got to prepare for a road trip. You've got to, you know, mentally be ready to get off the bus. So I thought that was a good takeaway, you know, in case we have a long trip in the future. Got down there, got in, got out. It is what it is at that point. And then obviously Newcastle is a big one we geared up for. So, I mean, it's a tough non-district schedule. And we got out and we saw a lot of things. We made a lot of improvements, and we kind of, you know, got our team to an extent where we want to be going into district, which is what you want because now everything matters. So that was my biggest takeaway non-district wise. And, you know, why you play, right? You want to tweak things, see what you can do, see what you can't do. And so after that, now, you know, I feel like we have a good plan as a staff moving into district play Friday night.
Yeah, so obviously 17 games in a row, winning streak there. Looking for 18 this week against Woodward. Tell us a little bit about what you expect Friday night at the Nest from Woodward.
Woodward's improved. Brand new head coach, so a lot of different things. I believe that you know they're doing some things schematically that are good, and you know it's going to be a matter of us showing up, a matter of us playing assignment football and executing. You know, it's just. You know, it's your district opener. You're back at home for the first time in 30 days, I feel like.
Yeah,
you know,
close to it, 28, 29, somewhere in there.
And so you got to get up for that one. And I think that, you know, where we're at and everything, I think that I like the way we match up with Woodward. And it's just going to be a good night, I feel like, to go out and play well. You know, execute on both sides of the ball and play well.
Yeah, talk a little bit about it. Like I said, I mean, it feels like week 0 feels like it was
August
2 months ago.
29th.
It was August 29th. The game will be the 27th or somewhere up in that area. So I mean, talk a little bit about being on the road for the last 3 weeks and now coming back to the Nest, and how important it is to play at the Nest and how awesome the Elgin faithful is. I mean, talk about it. We didn't even talk about it last week. I mean, in Newcastle, I mean, it was an incredible showing. We had people, like I said, lined up on outside 2 or 3 rows deep with their lawn chairs and things like that. We'll talk about, like I said, what playing at the Nest means and how awesome that crowd can be.
Man, it's different. And opposing teams and players after the game will tell you that.
Yeah.
I think Fridays in Elgin are really special. I think that even the community would get behind that. Everybody's excited. When we have a good night, Friday night, good weather, beautiful environment. Rowdy environment. Like, who doesn't want to do that in a small town? You know what I mean? Like, we've built a really really cool scene on Friday nights here in Elgin, and a lot of people are part of it. I don't know when the last time we haven't had a sellout crowd, if you will.
Right.
We've been packed, and it's special, and it really really our kids get behind that. Our kids really rally behind that, and they love it. They love the environment. It's loud. We really can't hear on defense. We literally have to signal. And so it's special, and we appreciate all the guys that get behind us and believe in us and support us. And let's do it again Friday. It's been too long.
Yeah, I believe Friday night's going to be Little League night. So just kind of touch
Bring
on
them
that.
on.
Yeah, just touch on that a little bit about how much Cody Rowell means to the program and means to the Elgin community.
Yeah, Cody does a phenomenal job. I don't know how he does it. First grade through 6th grade, and even as a head coach for our 7th and 8th graders, and coordinates everything.
I think so. The other day, not to cut you off, but the other day I think he was on the podcast with Derek and made a comment that within a 10-day period or something, he had 31 practices he had to be at.
Yeah, like every time I see him at his desk, he's planning another practice, and I don't even want to know. He's busy. But it's been great because you have to have that vertical alignment.
Yeah.
First grade through your high school, like, it's important. And no, it's not all the same. Obviously, like, our first graders aren't quite running counter yet. They're not quite probably in Rock Red yet, but they're getting towards it.
Yeah.
They're getting towards it, and that's very, very important because you can see it after being here for a while. I can see it as they come through. 5th grade, we really kind of start hitting on what we do.
Yeah.
And then 6th grade, you can see it. And when we get them by 7th graders, they're knowing terminology. They're knowing kind of how we line up with our base. And, now we can really progress with them like we should and like great programs do. And Cody does a great job of coming in and asking and talking to us. And obviously him and I have worked together for, 10 years now. And it's just the nucleus of it and the, being able to spread it, and volunteer coaches that are dedicating their time are understanding it too. That's important, and it is. And we appreciate, and I appreciate you guys that do dedicate your time to coach Little League. It's hard, and you got a lot of kids, and you're trying to teach them the right things, and it's just important to have that vertical alignment. So I appreciate where we're at as a program, 1st grade through 12th grade. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, when you get an 8th grader that's stepping into a varsity practice for the first time and already knows the language and already knows the steps and some of that stuff, I mean, it means the world. So that's an awesome job by Cody and all those, like I said, all those Little League coaches.
Yes.
I mean, they spend a lot of time with those kids, and it's just an awesome way to see that the program is progressing and building into a huge program. So, Coach, I want to thank you again for joining us tonight. I want to congratulate you on a 3-0 start, 17 in a row, looking for 18, obviously, Friday, and looking forward to seeing you guys playing at the Nest on Friday. Always great to get back home. So
let's do it.
So, hey, we've had Coach White on here. We're about to have some players on here. So you're watching the Elgin Owls Football Coaches Show on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
At Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Firehouse Subs is stacked to satisfy. Every sub's piled high with premium meats, melty cheese, and bold flavor in every bite. All served on a freshly toasted roll. Big portions, no shortcuts. Just crave-worthy subs made to truly satisfy. And at Firehouse Subs, every bite makes an impact. A portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders. Download the Firehouse Subs app and get up to $10 off your first order. Skip the line, stack the flavor, and support your local heroes. Only at Firehouse Subs. At participating U.S. restaurants. Offer valid for 1 week after account registration. Additional terms apply.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko live out here in Elgin. I am now joined by senior offensive lineman Zayden Roberts and CJ Devine. Guys, thanks for joining us. Zayden, we'll start with you. Zayden, play offensive line and defensive line. Talk a little bit about, how offensive linemen obviously don't get a lot of the credit and whatnot, but talk a little bit about the camaraderie of those guys and what Coach Castro means to you guys on the offensive line.
Coach Castro is like our leader.
Yeah.
He makes sure we know what we're doing and we're doing our stuff right. And we don't get a lot of big word you used. we don't get a lot of that.
Publicity
but
or whatnot.
In our own group, we give it to each other. So,
yeah. Talk about that Rough Rider mentality and what that means to you guys.
It just means putting your head down, getting the job done, doing what you have to.
Awesome. CJ, let's talk a little bit about, obviously, it's your senior year this year. Yeah. Obviously, kind of battled some injuries the last couple of years. Thought you were going to be able to get you were going to start maybe as a sophomore, but battled some injuries. Talk about what it means now being on the field and watching and then seeing you guys start out the season 3-0.
It feels really good because, it tells me, we've been working hard, the whole line, because, people saying, we got worse, but, I think we're doing really amazing as a unit up top. There's things we need to work on. We had, 50 penalties in Newcastle game, but we worked through it, though. Still had 5 touchdowns on Newcastle. And, I think that means a lot, too, because, that means that we just battled through it. And it's just, it just means a lot to me because, their unit's, really good this year. We're going to make it far. We're going to win it this year. And that's really just it. I really like to say.
Talk about it playing offensive line, and then, like I said, you're holding on your block and doing all the good things, and then you see Ritson or Tiny or one of those guys fly by you and go for those long touchdowns. What does that mean as an offensive lineman?
It looks kind of scary because sometimes the defensive linemen they try to reach out their arms, and it happened to me during the Newcastle game that one reached out his arm and grabbed Braxton's face mask. I was like, yo, but I need to do better because I feel like me I gotta press them more vertical so that won't happen again, and just be better for my technique and stuff so that won't happen. Or I might have to move my big butt to get out my way so Ritson or Braxton will hit my butt and stuff so they don't want to trip and stuff. But that's really just it, really.
There you go, Zayden. Obviously, you're a senior and things like that. What's your plans for next year?
Plan on going to wrestle in college. I don't know where yet.
Okay.
But I do want to end up being a therapist at some point.
All right. What's your favorite subject in school?
I like health class. Health class is fun.
So you talked about being a wrestler. Talk about what being a wrestler helps in football.
Flexibility, just being an athlete, explosion, just being able to move. Double leg takedowns to tackle.
There you go. CJ, kind of same questions, line of questioning for you. You're a senior as well too. Any plans for next year, and what's your favorite subject in school?
Probably play college football. Like I said, like what Zayden said, I don't know where yet either, but definitely play college ball. I want to probably become a physical therapist or a game warden and stuff. Come back here and stuff. And favorite subject, I probably gotta go with my guy Billy Freeman's class, World Cultures, because it's a fun class this year for me. It's a chill, fun senior class for me and stuff. You get to do a lot of stuff. This week we're making a pinata and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, guys, congratulations on the 3-0 start. Look forward to watching us play, obviously in the district. So hopefully we can take care of business against Woodward and keep things moving. But congratulations on the 3-0 start. Look forward to seeing you guys for the rest of the year. Yeah. We'll be right back after this. You're watching the Elgin Owl Football Coach on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
This month at Merritt Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, the savings are big. Get this 25 Ram 1500 Laramie for $11,867 off MSRP, or this 25 Ram 2500 Bighorn for $5,063 off MSRP. Don't wait. These deals end soon. Power on with Merritt. It's time to drive into savings at Merritt Chevrolet GMC. All month long, take advantage of incredible August offers, like up to $4,000 in consumer cash and up to $1,250 in incremental bonus cash on select models. Stop by today. Merritt Chevrolet GMC. Power on with Merritt.
And we're back here at Burrito Miko, where we'll be every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. to bring you the Elgin Owl Football Coaches Show. Like I said, I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Big win against Newcastle, obviously 42-24. Recapped it with Coach Ryan and CJ and Zayden. Really excited about district play coming up. Obviously, we're the defending district champs. We're the defending state champs. So we've got a lot of things to look forward to moving forward in this year. Currently, we're ranked number 2 in the state, right behind Tuttle. Question is who's 1 and 2, but some publications have us 1, some publications have them 1. But at the end of the day, we're both 1 and 2. So got to keep playing and keep fighting and keeping this win streak alive. Up to 17 now, looking for 18 this week. Back at the nest finally. We're super excited about that. Obviously, it's been almost a month now since we've been there, so we're excited about being back at the nest. Looking forward to seeing all the young kids out there with it being Little League night, and really looking forward to seeing all of the Elgin faithful shaking their jugs and doing everything that we do there at the nest on Friday nights. So for Billy Palmer, I'm Vincent Saylor. Thank you so much for watching the Elgin Owl Football Coaches Show. And you'll see us next week. If not before that, we'll see us on Friday, 6:30 pregame show. As always, 7 o'clock live action on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Look forward to bringing it to you, and look forward to seeing you next week also here at Burrito Miko for the Elgin Owl Football Coaches Show. So, again, that's going to wrap it up. As always, go Owls!